I figured maybe it would be fun to do a little radio repair video since I haven't done one of those in a while. And I don't even know where these came from, but they've been sitting around. And who makes this one? Firestone. So that one might be interesting to take a look at. And this one is kind of a no-name. At least the name came off. Really cheap little radio. It's interesting the antenna is wrapped around the case right here. Have no idea what they're going to need. Probably filter caps and speakers. I can actually see light coming through the speaker on this one. I can see that there's holes in it already. So we got that. We got this one, the Firestone. Firestone Tire and Rubber Company. And of course we have this. And I figured some of the parts out of this might go into fixing those radios. Boy, this sure is a mess, isn't it? This is what, a Funai, I think it was. Funai. And this thing had a bunch of problems. It took me about an hour just to get the TV to turn on. So I'm going to pull the chassis and the speakers, and we'll see if we can't use this stuff to get one or two of those radios going. And there's the mark of quality right there, Funai. And here's what I'm keeping to fix the radios. We got two little speakers, Funai. Couple of speakers, might have the capacitors we need to recap the radios. Boy, sure not much on here. It's all basically done in surface mount ICs on the bottom. Alright, let's take a quick look at this little cute radio. On the bottom, I've noticed that there was a sticker, and you can see all it says there is Super Het. And like I said, the antenna is wrapped around the case here, and you can see where the wires come out of the case. And what I probably want to do is I probably want to staple this one back down so I don't break it off here where it comes out of the case, and then attach some wires to it. Here's a tube chart. I don't know if this is going to show up real well, but it's a standard 5-finger discount. It's 12AT6, 50B5, 12BA6, 35W4, and 12BE6. I guess the 50B5, that's not a common tube. I think it's the same as a 50C5. It's just the pinout's a little different. 12AT6, I guess that's the same as a 12AV6. Maybe it's a little different. Anyway, here's the chassis. Oh, and I found the knobs. They were in there. And there's one good thing about this is it has the IF capacitors, the variable capacitors, rather than the tuning slug with the mica wafers that go bad. So that's a positive thing. The speaker is pretty interesting. I don't know what's up with these perfectly round holes. Maybe some of those paper bugs got to it. And And we'll take a look at the bottom. Filter capacitor, some bunch of coupling capacitors. So basically, maybe some of these can be left unchanged. I don't know, I'll have to check them out. Definitely the coupling cap to the output tube has to be changed, because when that leaks, it'll cause the output tube to fail in short order. I'm sure the filter is bad. I wonder what this was for right here. Anyway, I believe this right here is where the antenna connects, because one of them comes around here to the tuning capacitor and the other one goes down underneath. Well, actually it goes across the tuning capacitor, which would be right. That's where the antenna would connect. So, who knows? I guess I could just plug it in and see what it does. Alright, well, taking another look at the Firestone, I noticed that all the vacuum bulbs have been removed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to put this one back on the shelf for now. Also, as you can see, this has the slug-tuned IF transformers and not the capacitor tuned, so this set is more likely to have issues with the silver migration problem with the capacitors in the transformers. We'll get to this one later, maybe. Probably a complete set of tubes exceeds value of radio with tubes. I figured I would test the tubes in this, and obviously the 50B5 to start off with is bad. It's got a short in two places. Sometimes you can... Oh well, that took care of that. Okay, this is the 12 AT6. So 12F1 is the first one. And I'm running at a volt low. You need to do that. G5 and G6, that must be the diodes. That one looks good. This is the 12BE6. It's a 12BE6. There we go. Okay, this is a 35W4. And for your listening pleasure today, we have the 1973 reel-to-reel Kmart in-store programming tape that somebody graciously posted online. They posted about, I don't know, a whole bunch of these Kmart in-store tapes, and a lot of them are worn out, but the reel-to-reel ones seem to be much better. I mean, the hiss is something else, but the music is great. Well, that thing is rather dead.
Welcome to Kmart, shoppers. Have you had the opportunity to visit our pharmacy department? We have a registered pharmacist on duty to serve your needs at all times. If you are presently using a medication, please stop by our prescription department and let our pharmacist quote you on a price for your next refill. And thank you for shopping at Kmart.
Okay, I marked the 3 that are good with yellow paint on the tip, some of this yellow fingernail polish. I need a 35W4. It's real weak, but it'll probably work without it. Probably work with that one. I need a 50B5. This one had a defect in the glass. If I don't have one, I'm going to adapt it to a 50C5. I just changed some wiring around. I figured I would test the output transformer and the speaker by feeding some audio from this little amp into the primary of the transformer, the audio output transformer, and it seems to be working quite well.
Attention Kmart shoppers. Do you know that you can have your prescriptions filled at Kmart even if you presently are having them filled at another store? Stop by and ask our pharmacist, who will be glad to explain how easy it is for you to make this transfer to savings. And thank you for shopping at Kmart.
Alright, back on the little tube radio. Last I left off, the 50B5 was bad, and it had shorts and leakage, and I was banging it on the table because a lot of times I found that, I don't know if tubes can get whiskers on the inside, but when you get a tube that's been sitting forever and it shows shorts or grid leakage, sometimes you can bang it on the table, in fact a lot of times, and clear the short out or whatever, and it'll work fine. You can change a 50B5 with a 50C5, but I opted to order one. It was $5 for a new old stock one. It's good to have some stuff like this. I know it's all online, but I'm still a fan of old school paper books. And take a look here. I'll find it in here. Let's see, 50L6. Okay, here's 50C5. Okay, here's 50B5. And you don't have to worry about all the electrical specifications because they're all the same. But if you look at 50B5 and then you look at that, the way that's pinned out, and then you go to 50C5, you'll see there's quite a difference there. I don't know if I can actually... So it's a lot more than just changing a couple wires around. It's there's quite a difference between those two. So anyway, I got the tube, I got the radio. The 35C5 is weak, but let's go. Let's see if we can get it to work. Well, this is a bit aggravating. This was labeled a new old stock tube, and it's a tongue sole box, and it's got a General Electric tube in it that the getter does not look real healthy on. So, crap. I'm going to have to get the tester out and check it. Boy, look at that. Nice and strong. We'll go to grid leakage. Nothing. I'll turn it down to 30 volts. We'll see if it drops. Yeah, no doubt this is a new tube, even though it's in the wrong box. This is a new tube, very strong. Alright, since this is a new tube, there's one capacitor that usually is leaky on these things that will cause this tube to be biased on too hard. And since this is a new tube, I'm not going to fire it up without changing that capacitor, because it is the one capacitor that will damage the tube, which is connected to pins 2 or 7. You can see they're tied together in the tube. And that is this. I'm sorry, pin 1 and 7. Pin 1 and 7. And that is this capacitor right here. So I'm going to change that with one out of our chassis. It's a 0.005. I'm not that concerned about it. It can be a point. Oh, look at that one. That one's coming apart. Should be close to a 0.005. This one actually here is tied to the center of the volume control. This one that the side is popping out of, and it's the one that feeds the signal back into the AF amp. So I might change that one, but I'm going to start with this one, then we'll fire it up and see what it does. Alright, we have a Sprague 005 600 here. I put in a 0047 disc. It came off of the TV chassis. It was right there next to the transformer. And I think that probably this one's going to have to be changed. Some of these are just bypass, low voltage bypass capacitors, like this one and this one and this one. I think this one's going to be need to be changed, and I'm sure the electrolytic's dead, but I'm to a point now where I can fire it up and we'll see what it does. Alright, here we go. Got the antenna hooked up here with a couple clip leads. Remember, the 35C5 was weak on this thing, so It's very possible I'll need to change that before it'll actually work. Actually getting a little activity here. I think you can hear it. It's not very hot, that's for sure. No, I don't think that capacitor's open. It needs to be changed. Check the voltage on the filter. Well, it's pretty obvious that our 35Z5 or whatever that thing is, 35W4, sorry, is dead with 26 volts B+. And if I put it on AC, we have 13 volts AC, so the filter is dead and the rectifier tube is dead. I can't believe it even... I can't believe it picks up anything on 35 volts, but you know, you can pick up KNX on your fillings around here, so it's not surprising. So maybe let me see what I could do with this filter. Remember, the parts have to come off of that. Alright, I bridged in a filter capacitor. $15,000 microfarads at 250 volts. Let's see how it works with this beast. Well, we're up at 30 volts. Rectifier tube is very dead. If I disconnect the
home prices are in level.
It's actually picking up about 5 stations or 6 stations on 30 volts. That's pretty impressive. And that rectifier is just creeping up. That thing is tired. Alright, we got a brand new 35W4 in there. Now the key is, will the 15,000 microfarad filter capacitor blow the filament out in the 35W4? Because in these AA5 radios, the way they're wired is the filament is also the fuse. So let's see what happens here. Maybe I should... Oh, wow.
Organisms. These are little bacteria. They live and they thrive because it's warm and it's dark and it gets awesome there. Now, some of the bacteria are actually good for you. They help you, attack other invaders. They help digest proteins. But some of it is not good. You got to sort out the good from the bad. Some of the other stuff, sulfur-producing bacteria, noxious smelling waste composed of sulfur compounds, hydrogen sulfide, which smells like... Veterans of America and AM 570 LA Sports to help a hero. We wouldn't be here. Life would not be what it is in America. The
lot more bacteria. You got to really scrub it and keep it clean. That would be tongue too.
Just can't get the money. Bro, it's time.
It's very, very different. In Nazi Germany,
should not receive the Holy Eucharist, and your mother
and Kobe.
Este reporte es presentado por
KNX 1070 News Radio.
Me, the snoring guy. Yeah, I know. Snore my whole life.
So keep following your dreams and working hard at what you love.
NSA. Listen to this. The Patriot. AM 1150.
Sleep apnea. And the smartest thing
Humanity.
No me gustaba ese tío. Entonces, conexiones
Cargará de las...
침잘로는 한의원, 제중 한의원.
약탈되는 한의원, 제중 한의원.
한국에서의 명성 그대로.
con Jesús el Señor llamen.
닭칼국수 잊지 마세요.
인터넷 평가에서 별을 5개나 받은 40년 역.
Wow, it sure makes a big difference to have a 125 volts with a filter capacitor than it does. That one there looks like it's getting kind of hot. No, not really. But yeah, I imagine if I unplug this, it would run quite a while off that 15,000 microfarad capacitor. Yeah, if you charged that up to 120 volts and stuck that across your tongue, it would leave a lasting impact. Alright, I pulled two filter capacitors off of this. One of them was right there. The other one was over here. I also pulled another high voltage isolation cap off from back here. And you can see those under here. I just got them tacked on temporarily. I started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hollow this one out and put these down inside of it and then silicone it. I'm going to restuff this, but I ended up using two 100 at 160 volts because that's what was in the TV.
A confiar en el Señor la vida de su hijo.
El juego.
No.
Dollars on car insurance. Solid ride on the freeways. The 7 Series drives like a dream and is the most innovative car on the road. The 7 Series brings you totally up to date. One of my favorite features, of course, the onboard navigation.
Right here, right.
150 franchise locations nationwide. There is an
Responds to police now.
Tuesday, October 27th, Gary and Shan, we're talking about this video that came out of South Carolina, that math classroom where the sheriff's deputy used the girl sweep the floor with. She wasn't paying attention to what he was saying.
The FBI has been called in to see if any federal laws were broken. I'm assuming civil rights issues. The sheriff's department there is long.
29 and a half for the Lakers. What does the Victor Brick Jacobs over? Like, what do you think they win this year?
So a lot of that motor boating and whistling and stuff could be because of these wires connecting this to the antenna that's inside the case here. I think what I need to do next is I'll do an IF alignment, 455. I think that's probably what this is. And then I'll put it back in the case and connect it up, and we'll do a final run on the video. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll finish recapping it and restuffing the filter at a later time. This video has already gone on way too long, and it was really just a resurrection video. I wasn't, you know, gonna totally overhaul it.
But Colby understands it's now more of a sense.
Only one song, and that is Lose It.
The New York Post rate.
Es una cuestión que escuché en fuego. Y sigue pasando.
And truth is better than creativity.
Okay, this thing is way off on the IF alignment. We could tell by... Okay, here we go. See how fast we could do this. We're on 455 here. Power's cranked all the way up. It's just fed into there. Wow, was this thing off. It came up 40 dB. The sensitivity came up 40 dB because I could barely hear it at plus 20 when I started. Now I'm down at negative 20. I'm going to leave it. Alright, here we go. It's back in the case. One thing I will say about those the older style IF transformers with the capacitors in them is they don't suffer from silver mica disease, but it does seem like they are always way out of alignment compared to the slug-tuned ones. I would imagine this...
Dios le bendiga, mi hermanito. Dígame.
That's the volume all the way down now.
Un abrazo, Aníbal Reyes. Si es Cristo vive, no celebro Halloween. Recuerde.
뼈를 이야기하고요. 네크로시스.
Es el objetivo de toda la dirigencia y nosotros como comité ejecutivo de la federación, creo yo que estamos...
현대 어쇼런스 10년 10만 마일 파워트레인 워런티.
고치게끔 돼 있죠. 먼저 임대계약.
More than that, made nearly $80 million.
Oh, did you? Well, that was at the time.
You didn't get your check because they cut you out.
On my monster from
see the overcast conditions we have today. A lot of areas will see more of those kinds of clouds for tomorrow, and actually a slight chance of showers creeping in Wednesday night, tomorrow night through Thursday, and highs will be in the 70s to about 80 or so, a little cooler than we have been today. A few degrees cooler.
Totally overloaded. This station is so strong it just totally overloads these radios.
76 degrees here on the Miracle Mile. Los Alamitos right now, it's 81.
It's 2:16.
Esta iniciativa looks for somebody else to give it to.
We certainly welcome at 888-914-9149. All right, so much of today's... You'd have to pay a fortune to afford the best in betting, but not if you buy sheets from...
Bonus offer is to go to FanDuel.com. Click the microphone in the upper right.
Now with these cops going crazy. I mean, I know a lot of people probably deserve it, but we're the ones that end up having to pay for this. You know, it comes out of our checks.
Yeah.
Out of our money.
But in fairness, so does crime.
So, what is our conclusion? You know, this is
9년이 되고 있으니까 그래서 GCO와 남가주 외대 동문회가 공동 주최로 열립니다.
That's DraftKings.com.
Sometimes these things are just too sensitive, and this one really, I mean, listen to the performance. What did I get? 35 stations or something? A lot.
네, 저희가 외대가 이 음대가 없는 대학입니다. 아직까지도. 네, 그럼에도 불구하고 김규삼 박사님 그 지도 아래 지금.
So that's been a quick resurrection video on this mystery, and I'm sure someone's going to post in the comments, oh, that's a something or another, but a quick resurrection video on the mystery All-American 5 UL listed little tiny AM tube radio. We needed 2 tubes, several capacitors, some electrolytics, and an alignment, and some general cleanup and repair, and it works really well. So there you go. Cool little, very compact set. Cloth covered with the antenna wrapped around right here around the cabinet. In fact, you can see where the antenna is there.